Across highways, truck stops, and depot bays, something is quietly shifting. The shift towards zero-emission trucks isn't just an idea anymore. It's already on the ground. Pilots are running, technologies are evolving, costs are reducing. Drivers are happier, and the questions are getting more real every day. This is Get ZET, an initiative by the Center of Excellence for Zero-Emission Trucking. In each episode, we dive into the rise of ZETs, from charging time to finance, and from safety to pickup improvement, and the real-world impact of it all.
So in our previous episodes, we covered many aspects of electric truck adoption, the technology part, the safety part, the economical sense where the total cost of ownership is better. We also discussed about financing of trucks. There's another important area which we will have to go into, and that is about policy, government policy and partnerships. Why are policies so essential? ZETs is not just about a product like a truck. It is a solution, and it is an entire ecosystem that needs to be developed. And this requires massive changes in the entire ecosystem. And this is best driven by government policies through a scheme of incentives, through a scheme of regulations, the safety of all these trucks and the charging infrastructure. So the government has a very important role to play. But at the same time, we need to realize that none of this happens with just one single entity like the government. The entire community has to partner with the government. So you have OEMs who will partner with them for various safety regulations. You will have charging service providers, and there will be many more. So the question we ask today is, do we have policies in place that help the adoption of ZETs? And how can the governments, both the state and the center, how can they help further adoption as we go along? So to help us understand this, we have the best possible person from central government to help us understand the key policy aspects with ZET adoption. He spent the last couple of years deep diving into electric truck ecosystem, and he has worked closely with most of the stakeholders, other government departments, OEMs, shippers, operators, academia, financiers. It is a pleasure to be joined by Dr. Qureshi, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Heavy Industries. He's been instrumental in bringing together various policy measures and continues to pursue even more initiatives to help with e-truck adoption in India. Welcome to Get ZET, Dr. Qureshi, and thank you for finding time today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
We are really hoping that our user community will be able to get some good insights about what government is doing from you. We know that the government, through your ministry, has made a small start for e-trucks this time in PM E-Drive. Apart from the demand incentive, we understand that there are more schemes and incentives and other supports which government is planning through other ministries as well. Could you give us some insights into this, please, as compared to how the truck support will be at a similar level to, say, three-wheelers or two-wheeler adoption, where there was such superb support from the government?
So you're right that the Prime Minister's e-Drive scheme, which is a 10,900 crore rupees scheme, its objective is to incentivize electric vehicles. And those electric vehicles range from two-wheelers, three-wheelers to buses, trucks, ambulances. Now, trucks and ambulances are a new entry to this, as in the country, e-ambulances are not made as of now. And electric trucks, we have only very small GVW weight electric trucks, less than 3.5 tons. If we look into the N2 and N3 category, which is the heavier ones, from 3.5 to 12 tons is N2 and 12 tons to 55 is N3. In this category, we have very few electric trucks. In fact, only about 450 or so electric trucks in this category were registered on the Vahan portal last year. And out of that, many were imported. So very few domestic trucks. The government thinks that trucks is a very important area to be electrified. Trucks constitute only 3% of the number of vehicles in the country, but they contribute to more than 41% of the carbon emissions which come from the transport sector. Therefore, 500 crore rupees has been reserved in this scheme to incentivize OEMs who manufacture electric trucks. And you gave the example of two-wheelers and three-wheelers. The Government of India started its support in 2015, and now it is almost 10 years. And we see that the subsidy has slowly come down. And the reason is that the industry has now matured, and now more than 7% of our two-wheeler sales are electric. So subsidy will keep on decreasing, and when the industry is mature enough and they do not need incentives will be stopped. But electric trucks are at a very nascent stage. Government needs to do a lot of things, not only providing financial incentives, but also thinking about charging infrastructure. So Prime Minister's e-drive scheme is a very comprehensive scheme which includes all those aspects.
That's good to know. And I'm sure there are a few more incentive schemes which your ministry is running. One is the upcoming Automotive Mission Plan 2047, the Viksit Bharat goal for self-sufficiency and for becoming a developed country. So under the Automotive Mission Plan, do you see any specific work which is going to be pushed into the market, into the ecosystem for e-mobility in general, but for electric trucks in particular? Do you see something specific there?
You see, Automotive Mission Plan is a vision which the industry along with the Ministry of Heavy Industry is creating, that what should be our aspiration for 2047? Where does the industry want to go? Where does the country want to go? The Prime Minister has given us the Panchamrit formula, which is for reduction of carbon. 5 goals are there, reaching 500 gigawatts of renewable energy, and other goals are there. How automobile industry can fit into that goal is basically the Automotive Mission Plan. And of course, electric mobility is a very important part of the Automotive Mission Plan. Within the electric mobility, electric trucks have assumed a lot of significance. And it is not only that we must have electric trucks, but it is also that electric trucks must be produced in India. So Aatmanirbhar Bharat, that is linked to the goal of climate change and reduction in carbon. So we are looking at what are the factors which can increase our electric truck production and electric truck usage. How can we promote its usage? So this is what the industry is thinking when we meet to make the AMP. It has not been finalized yet, but we are inviting views from various stakeholders towards this goal.
That's interesting, sir. And of course, interministerial coordination, you being the nodal ministry for e-mobility, interministerial coordination is always a challenge. How are you looking at catalyzing all the industries towards, all the ministries towards the actual adoption and proliferation of electric trucks? How are you seeing that happen over the years?
I think there are about 9 ministries which are directly or indirectly concerned with electric vehicles. We have Ministry of Power, which is responsible for guidelines for charging infrastructure. We have Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, which administers the CMVR. Then we have DPIT for industry. We have Ministry of Environment and Forests, and other ministries are there. Niti Aayog is there. So the Ministry of Heavy Industries has been named as the ministry which will be responsible for coordination efforts amongst all the ministries. So whenever, say, new guidelines for charging infrastructure are released by the Ministry of Power, there is a consultation which we do with them. Similarly, when the performance and efficiency criteria of electric trucks have to be made by MORTH, then also we consult. Similarly, the end of life vehicle rules which the Ministry of Environment has made, how to recycle into the circular economy. So all these issues, I think the vision has been very clearly set by the Government of India that electric vehicles are the way to go forward, and they are the cleanest and the most silent form, as our Prime Minister has said many times. So it is a silent revolution which is happening, and I think that is the key binding factor which drives all the ministries towards the common goal.
I'd like to look at it from now the business community side. Some shippers are declaring sustainable mobility goals. OEMs have started developing and selling models, etc. But as on date, because you're interacting and analyzing the situation all the time, as on date, do you see anything further that the business community needs to start doing in terms of buying and using electric trucks, having more for charging, having more models available, improving the technology or efficiencies? Where do you see the industry at today, the general business community today? And what would you want them to actually come and do further?
When any user group wants to buy trucks, so the high upfront cost of electric trucks is certainly a dampener, because the 55 tonners are like 1 crore, 1.1 crores or 90 lakhs, and the equivalent diesel trucks are 40 lakh, 45 lakhs. But when they do a deeper analysis, then they find that in some cases the total cost of operation of electric trucks is actually cheaper or almost in the range of diesel trucks. And I think cost savings is one of the reasons which is driving the adoption of electric trucks. We have interacted with users. So users means ports, steel industry, logistics, shippers, cement industry. We have talked to a lot of these users. We have also talked to the OEMs. So I think that what will drive the users and OEMs towards electric trucks is more data and more analysis that why electric trucks makes economic sense. So after our preliminary discussions, we have come to the conclusion that not only electric trucks are environmentally good, but they make economic sense also. That is the lesson which we are getting. And this is at the current prices of electric trucks. Going in the future, we think electric truck prices will come down. Why will they come down? Number one, economies of scale. More trucks will be made, the cost per truck will come down. Second is that battery prices are going down. So even at current prices, total cost of operation is almost similar. Maybe a couple of years ahead, the electric trucks will be very much cheaper to run. So this is what OEMs are seeing into the future. And that is why many OEMs are now putting their money into making electric trucks.
We'll move on to the state governments on the electric truck topics. Not many states have actually started waking up to the opportunities for electric trucks. I think the state governments have been very supportive on the two-wheeler and three-wheeler market so far. Where do you see our state governments in the context of e-truck adoption? Have there been any specific good schemes or instances where you have seen state governments start contributing to electric truck adoption?
I think so far no state government has launched any scheme per se for electric trucks, but states have been very active in our consultations, and some of them have asked us about policy inputs, that how they can support the electric trucks and manufacturing ecosystem. Many states have industrial parks, they have industrial clusters where they would like to set up such units. That is there, but I think we are in a too early a stage of electric trucks that the benefits really, probably we need some more time.
To have the states
Yes.
towing the line.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you seeing a big role for startup companies where even the government is also able to provide some kind of environment where startups can make a difference? In two-wheelers and three-wheelers, we've seen quite a few of them actually become vehicle makers. And in trucks, of course, there's been one startup which has started and now it's become part of a larger group. As things go, maybe even in the supply chain, not in just making vehicles, are you seeing startups having a major role and a technology play in this whole thing at a government policy level? Are you thinking of coming up with anything for this aspect?
So that is an excellent point. As I said that we not only want electric vehicles, but we want EVs manufactured in India. We want components manufactured in India. And that is why, if you look at the Prime Minister's e-drive scheme, there is something called a phased manufacturing program. So phased manufacturing program means that components which were earlier imported, now they have to be manufactured in India. We have seen that apart from the OEMs, now we have many OEMs who are manufacturing EVs, but a much larger number of companies and startups are now making components. So for example, traction motor, DC-DC converters, wheel rim integrated with hub motors, the batteries which are there. Of course, cells are imported, but making of batteries and battery management systems. So there are many companies which are making these components. And the incentives of the government of India are only given if you procure these components from the country. Therefore, there is a lot of scope for startups to look for those components which are still being imported and start manufacturing in India. So, OEMs will take the components from Indian companies, and there lies the opportunity for them.
So there's a indirect support and a drive which is being given through the phase manufacturing program conditions.
Yes.
This is more to do with society. You know that sustainability is important for the country. We also have a very peculiar distribution of economic strength in our country. So we need adoptions to not leave such people behind. We have to carry the community. We have a responsibility. Unlike advanced countries, we have a responsibility for the smaller man in the field. So how do you see equity and equal opportunity? How do you see it happening for these people in terms of either skilling or other special programs? Are you conceiving anything? Is there something which is being considered right now?
So the Ministry of Heavy Industries works with the Automotive Skill Development Council, which is responsible for skilling in the automobile industry. And ZET in IT Madras is also doing an excellent work in this regard. We work with them and develop QPs and develop curriculum so that these skills can be given, so that it is easier to transition from the diesel to electric. Secondly, in India, the truck ownership is tilted towards individual ownership. More than 80 to 85% trucks owners have just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 trucks, less than 5 trucks. And very few people own large fleet of trucks. What we are thinking in the new electric truck scheme is that, for example, we have user groups like ports or steel or cement. We are saying that you must use electric trucks, and since these sectors don't own electric trucks, they take them on lease. So they'll be forced to give their lease to the individual owners who have electric trucks. So directly, we are not giving any incentive to the individual owners. But these bigger user groups, they have been incentivized to go for electric trucks. Therefore, the benefits will flow to the individual owners who are the majority.
And it's so important because huge amount of livelihood depends on that, millions of lives. So it's important that we cover for that. Last request from you, Dr. Qureshi. This interview and podcast is primarily targeted at what we are calling the user layer. So this consists of people like operators, drivers, pump operators, people who are in the dhabas. So the outreach program has been mainly with them so that they understand the positives and the negatives of electric trucks. We bring a certain amount of confidence and trust in the whole activity. So as a very senior government official, would you have a message for them which they will find as giving comfort or confidence to adopt electric trucks?
See, first of all, I would say that you must experience the feel of an electric truck. If any driver drives an electric truck, so that is much more convenient, much easier, and much more pleasurable also to drive an electric truck. That is one thing. Another is you get to see a lot of data in front of you, those dashboards, that is much better. Thirdly, I think that it is in the cause of a national service. By encouraging electric trucks, by driving electric trucks, you are saving on the fuel, on the diesel, where more than 85 to 90% of the petroleum products are imported into the country. We are saving valuable foreign exchange. So you are contributing to the health of the economy of the country. Secondly, it also has a security aspect. A geopolitical aspect is there. When we save our foreign exchange, we are less dependent on foreign countries. The counter argument is that you also import lithium. But once you import lithium, you have imported it once and it will there in the truck for 10 or 12 years. Petrol you have to fill in every time. So it has got a much longer life. So you are contributing to the country. You are saving money by lower total cost of operation, and you have ease of driving, ease of operations. So there are so many advantages. You must go full-fledged for it.
I think that is very true. I think the driving community, the trucking community delivered remarkable service during COVID, where the nation was literally held up by the driving community, the trucking community. They had such an important role. I would put it at the same level as what the farmers are, the soldiers are doing for the country. So it's important that you raised that point. Thank you very much. We now have the trucking community also with an opportunity to help the country. Truly enlightening conversation, Dr. Qureshi. Thank you for finding time. And we appreciate your insights into this. We are hoping that this will be a successful program for the country.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we come to the end of this season of Get ZET. Over the past episodes, we've unpacked the technologies, heard from manufacturers, we've explored charging infrastructure, financing, policies, and partnerships. And most importantly, we've kept the spotlight on the people at the heart of the trucking ecosystem. If there's one thing that's clear, it's this. The transition to zero-emission trucking is not a distant dream. It is an ongoing activity which has started with its own set of challenges which are worth taking on together. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay tuned for the next season. Until then, stay curious, stay committed, and keep driving the future. Thank you.